Foothill Electronics Museum sits perched above Northern California's Silicon Valley, home to high technology. A museum commemorating appropriately the age of electronics, from Thomas Edison's invention of the light bulb to replicas of the transmitter used to signal trouble on the Titanic. There's also an exhibit of the first 15-watt radio station and the hand-cranked sounds of 1907. In all, 450 displays provide a nostalgic walk down electronics memory lane. Museum curator Leonard Lansdown.
If you do not have the past, you do not have anything to shoot for in the future.
Even advances in computer technology, heralded as breakthroughs 5 years ago, now take their place alongside television sets and scientific equipment, which today are considered outdated and obsolete. The museum depends on advances in technology to exist and private donations to survive. Bob Rucker, CNN, Los Altos, California.
But here's a riddle for you now. Where is there a place where what's new is old and what's old is new? Well, if you give up, reporter Terry Byrne has the answer for us in this report.
Well, since we dropped in at the Electronics Museum, of course, the old saw around here is that in electronics, it takes about 5 minutes for something to become an antique. So it's refreshing to report that what's new at the museum is, in fact, old. The music boxes of another era are curator Leonard Lansdown's present pride. One wonders what happened to the makers of the freshman masterpiece and all those other household words from 1920.
Like most companies that start up, they have a very bad cash flow, and I would say out of 100, only 10 or 12 companies went through this period until they became large enough to put it in mass production or where everybody could use them.
Of course, no one needs reminding that it was San Jose that had the world's first scheduled radio station back in 1909. But our favorite discovery was this replica of a radio that worked but didn't quite do its job. This is the kind of transmitter that was aboard the ill-fated Titanic. It sent the SOS. There just weren't any ships in range that were equipped to listen.
2 months later, the government issued an edict that no ship could come to our port without a transmitter and receiver capable of 600 miles.
If you get a little weepy with nostalgia when you think about Amos and Andy, if you're turned on by the sight of an exact replica of the original spark gap transmitter that went down with the Titanic back in 1912, well, boy, do we have the place for you. One of the most elaborate, one of the most complete electronics museums in the world. It is located at Foothill College in Los Altos Hills, just south of San Francisco. An appropriate location because Los Altos Hills is just a stone's throw from Silicon Valley, where much of the world's electronic history has been made. The museum includes one of the first commercial radio stations in the world, San Jose Station KQW, which, back in the year 1908, an incredible 74 years ago, almost sent a Navy radio operator to the funny farm when he actually heard music coming through his headphones that up until then had heard nothing but code transmissions from the old spark gap transmitters. You see, the earliest radio transmitters actually used a spark to produce the radio signal. Keep calm, Titanic. We'll have rescue ships there in a matter of minutes. Trust us.
This old set is so old. How old is it, Bill? It is so old it even has a Channel 1 on it. And we haven't even had a Channel 1 for almost 35 years now, ever since they turned it over to a police frequency. Bill Branch, Newswatch 13, Foothill College, Los Altos Hills.
But even here, there are backroads attractions. You just have to know where to look, like this little-known museum on the grounds of Foothill College. Just when you thought the world was jaded, it turns out that wide-eyed wonder is alive and well in the Los Altos Hills. The Foothill Electronics Museum. Radio, television, telephones, modern sophistication, and old-fashioned charm.
Then turn back.
Come on, solitaire.
Now, is this gorgeous or what? This takes me back to my childhood in Indianapolis when we used to sit around the living room and watch the radio. You could hear shows from as far away as California. Anyway, my grandfather had a radio just like this, and I always wanted to go up and play with the dials. But somehow, he would come out of nowhere, no matter what time it was, and say, don't touch. It's already set. Now's my chance. Okay, let's see what
Hold it. How dare you touch that? Oh, do you realize how much money I spent for that and how long it took us to get that on that station?
Excuse me, sir, you are not my grandfather.
No, you're correct.
All right, this is Leonard Lansdown, and he plays a pretty good grandfather. Actually, he's the curator of the Perham Electronics Museum, which is on the campus at Foothill College in Los Altos. And, well, what do you have here?
Well, most of the equipment we have here, at least 90%, is of the past. Our efforts here are to retain the past for the children and for the older people who remember these things. Nostalgia is a big deal here.
What kind of memories do you have when you take a look?
Just look at the way I smile when you ask me a question like that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Now, you love to show kids around here.
Oh, that's my best thing. I get a lot of fun out of that.
And I assume not just children, but old-timers come in here and reminisce?
Let me tell you, it makes your heart jump up and down. There was a man came in here in a wheelchair from Hawaii, and he rolled up into our old-time radio station, and he looked at the log, and he said, "That's my call, 1920.
Glenn, what's this?
That's a portable TV, one of the first portable TVs.
Really? Oh, who lifts it? Oh, my goodness.
Boy, that's late.
At the heart of the museum is a collection of beautifully maintained radios and microphones. Say the secret wide, and you can use an NBC microphone. Originally, the museum was located at San Jose State, but construction of a parking lot sent the founders searching for a new home. Duffy's Tavern, where the elite meet to eat. South Bay Industries contributed a whopping $763 to the cause. Still, the volunteers were able to build a home on the grounds of Foothill College. Now, what is this, Lynn?
This is the first commercial paid broadcasting station in the world. It was in San Jose, 1909.
And this is it?
This is original equipment.
No kidding.
We're very proud to have it here.
Well, I want to tell you, this is a great place. I really enjoyed my visit, and I want to thank you for giving me the tour. They're open on Wednesdays, or rather Thursdays and Fridays and Sundays, right?
That's correct. Now, before you go, we have something we'd like to present to you that is very, very few people do. Please.
Really? What in the world?
In appreciation for a very good actor, here is a real, honest-to-goodness Oscar. Please pose.
Len, wait a minute now. This is a real Oscar. It says for Mr. DeForest, the inventor of the vacuum tube.
That's correct. He got it for co-inventing a little optical frequency lines alongside a film for sound.
Well, my own Oscar. This is terrific. Thank you very much. How do you talk into this thing anyway? Hello, test. 1, 2, 3.